Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome to our new series, Understanding Insurance, where we bring you quick, bite-sized information on the topic of insurance. Today, we will be discussing what is risk. We use the word risk in everyday conversation. We would say things like, oh, I don't want to fly with this airline anymore, it's way too risky. Or we could say, you know what, I'll just pay the fee, the risk is low. And in even rarer cases, we might ask our doctors, so doctor, what is the risk of not doing this procedure? And there are many more examples, but what exactly is risk? From the previous expressions I've used, we can see that risk is a word we use to describe or express the possibility of something bad or unpleasant happening. When it comes to something good, something that we look forward to, we would use the words opportunity or chance. Understanding insurance must begin with discussing risk. In the context of insurance, risk is the uncertainty of loss, and loss is defined as a bad or unpleasant event in which its consequences, as far as possible, can be measured in financial terms. We face risks and uncertainties every day. Let's take the example of a commuter who works in Jakarta but lives in Bogor, a city about 60 kilometers south of Jakarta. So he has many choices for his daily commute. If he chooses to drive, he would carry the risk of getting involved in a car accident, which could bring him bodily harm or damage his car, and in the worst case, even do both. Now, he could avoid this risk by choosing to ride the commuter train line instead. But even then, he would face the risk of train collision, for example, although that might be a bit extreme. Other than that, he could face the risk of injuring himself when jostling to enter or exit the trains, or even fall victim to pickpocketing. Now, this brings us to the law of conservation of energy, funny enough, which is something most of us would have learned in school from physics class. The law states that energy cannot be destroyed or completely vanish. It can only transform from one form to another. The same principle applies to risk, so we can call it the law of conservation of risk. As we can see from the example with the commuter, the risk does not get completely eliminated. Instead, it changes form depending on the choices that he makes. Now let's go back to the commuter, and let's say that he has reached his office building. So that means he's safe now, right? Well, no. Unfortunately, he now faces other risks, even within the confines of his office building. He can face small risks such as getting a paper cut, or slipping from a freshly mopped floor, or even getting squeezed by elevator doors when he's trying to get in, to bigger risks such as getting caught in a fire. Now in this case, he could do several things. He may try to escape through the window. However, if he's in one of the higher levels, he would simply plunge to his death. Or he could choose to stay in the building hoping that the fire gets extinguished as soon as possible. But if he stays in there too long, he would just inhale too much of the poisonous smoke and die from that either way. As we can see, bad things could happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time. This is risk. The possibilities remain uncertain because we do not have the knowledge to know when these things might happen or how severe the consequences would be. So what should we do about it? Should we just be paranoid for the rest of our lives? Should we ignore it and leave it for God to deal with? Or is there some way that we can manage these risks? We will be exploring this in the next video, so be sure to watch that as well. But for now, that's all we have. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Di Khaira TV. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.